Nebraska got their week going yesterday with two big-time commits. And folks, we are just getting started. It's going to be a busy couple of days. So with that being said, today, I'm going to give you my full evaluation of Nebraska's offensive line recruiting class. We're going to go over every single commit in detail, the pros in their game, the cons, my honest expectations for their entire career, and everything else you need to know. Is this a good offensive line recruiting class? Is it good, great? Is it mid? Is it even finished? I'll give you an update around Kelvin Obot, and then I want to go over some other updates that popped up over the past 24 hours. A four-star linebacker has been officially crystal balled to Nebraska. Matt Rhule put out a cryptic tweet yesterday calling out some people. I'll give you updates around Valdin, Devin Jackson, Larry Miles, and some more big things. So really quick, this is a jam-packed video. Make sure you watch the entire thing because it's nuts. Hey, if you're having a good day, because I know I am, hit that like button. And also, if you're a dire Nebraska fan and you want breaking news coverage, we have breaking news dropping later today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for the latest. It's a no-brainer. It takes seconds. Once again, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, let's just get into it. We have a lot to talk about. We know the Huskers, they had a big day yesterday, but it's only getting bigger. We're going to see a lot more commitments as the week progresses. We have a commitment today that we'll get to. We have a commitment potentially tomorrow we'll talk about as the video progresses. But I want to get things going, putting a bow on Nebraska's offensive line recruiting class, because honestly, it looks like it might be done. We know Nebraska, they officially have 4 commits. That was the number that they wanted. They might get a 5th. We'll talk about them in a second. But I want to give you my honest evaluation of all these prospects, what you can expect. Are they actually going to play right away? Are they good? Is this O-line class even that good? Let's just get things started with Kaahaaina-Torres getting committed yesterday. The guy is 300 pounds, 6'7". Now, I talked about him in my commitment video, and I told you guys, well, he's an athletic freak, super long arms. He's incredibly versatile. He jumps on the line of scrimmage. He's incredibly athletic. The potential is there to be a first-round NFL draft pick. I don't expect Kaahaaina-Torres to play within the first 2 years because, again, he's just so raw. He's still learning how to play football. He's a guy who originally he was born in Cameroon. He grew up playing basketball and soccer. So while he's an athletic freak, and while I absolutely expect him to be potentially one of Nebraska's best offensive tackles, in this century, if you live up to expectations, it's going to take time because his technique right now just isn't good. But the reason why his recruiting ranking is as high as it is because his potential is as good as literally any other player in this entire class. He could be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. That's how high his potential is, but it's just so raw. So I really like this pickup, and this is a common theme you're going to see with a lot of these Nebraska offensive linemen that they picked up, is that they're all very raw with high upside. There's not a bunch of players here who have low upside but are going to potentially play right away. That's not really how we're evaluating this O-line recruiting class. We're taking guys with high potential who we're going to stash for a little while, 2-3 years, and they're going to play going into potentially their sophomore, junior, even senior season. So Kaahaaina-Torres is that first guy. Again, I maybe could see him in year 2, but I think the expectation from the coaching staff is for him to be in line to start going into year 3. So Kaahaaina-Torres, that's my evaluation on him. I like him. Again, we just got to trust that Donovan Raiola develops him at a high level, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to be one of Nebraska's best offensive tackles in a long time. But honestly, if you want my real opinion, I think Hayden Ainsworth is Nebraska's best offensive line commit in this class. I am so bullish on Hayden Ainsworth, and it's not because Kaahaaina-Torres is bad. Kaahaaina-Torres is a top 200 player in America, in my opinion. He's very good. I think Hayden Ainsworth is a top 100 player in America. I told you guys for so long, I'm crazy about Hayden Ainsworth. I think Nebraska got a complete steal here. We know that he reclassified. He's only 16 years old, so he's going to college a year early. If he did not reclassify, if he stayed in the class of 2027, he would have potentially been a 5-star prospect. That's how good I think he would have been. He already had Georgia interested in him. Alabama was interested in him, some other big-time schools. So Hayden Ainsworth is somebody who can play guard, can play tackle. They recruited him to play tackle, but honestly, I could see his future at guard. So he has a positional versatility. Man, he's somebody who does everything right off the field. Great in the pass pro, which is something that was really surprised with a lot of these prospects that aren't good in the pass pro. His technique is phenomenal. His work ethic's phenomenal. I think Hayden Ainsworth's going to be really good. I'm super excited about it. In my opinion, when he's done with his high school career, he's going to be a top 200 player in America by pretty much every single recruiting site. Right now, look at this 3-star. It's a joke. He should not be a 3-star. Everybody knows that's a joke who's watched this film. This guy is absolutely incredible. So, in my opinion, we have 2 4-stars right now in this O-line recruiting class, and I really feel good about both of them potentially starting at tackle. Now going on to the other 2 guys, very similar, very raw. You have Leon Noyle Jr., who I think is very athletic. I actually really like his game, but another player you're probably not going to see within the first couple years. Nebraska, they recruited him to play offensive tackle. I think his future is probably at guard. Again, you could either Hayden Ainsworth or Leon Noyle. When it's all said and done, they're going to move to guard. I'd probably say Noyle's going to be that guy who ends up being kicked inside. Again, he's very athletic. He's a winner. He's played against the best talent in Louisiana, so I think he's going to be all very good when it's all said and done. But once again, high ceiling, low floor. Gotta trust the development of Donovan Raiola because, for example, if Leon Noyle was committed under the Scott Frost regime, we wouldn't know how to develop him. He probably would have been a bust. That's not the case, though, with Matt Rhule. That's not the case with Donovan Raiola. We know how to develop players at a high level. We know how to keep them accountable, and that's why I have a lot of confidence that we're going to bring out the best in this guy because he does have that high potential to be a very, very good player. And then, of course, Rex Waterman's the last one. Rex Waterman, I'm not crazy about. He's going to be a guard for Nebraska, confirmed that that's why they recruited him to play. He's somebody who, the one thing I love about him, though, is that he's a big nasty. Like, he is somebody who is angry on the football field. He wants to hurt you. And that's what I love from these offensive tackles, these offensive linemen, these guards, these centers. I want you to be an angry player when you're on the field. I want you to go out there trying to hurt people, trying to put somebody in the dirt. That's what you see with Rex Waterman. So while I don't think his potential is as high as these other guys, I think all three of those guys we just talked about could be very high NFL draft picks. I don't know if I see that with Rex Waterman. He's somebody who, again, if he just does all the right things off the field, I think he honestly could play going to year 2, year 3. Just the potential is not through the roof, if you know what I'm saying. So I actually really like this O-line recruiting class. In my opinion, you have 2 4-star prospects. You have Leon Noyle Jr., who actually, he's on the outside looking in to get a 4-star. We'll see how he does in his senior year. And then Rex Waterman's is kind of that guy with medium ceiling, medium floor, just kind of a guy who can pretty much play tackle, guard, center, wherever you want him. Nebraska, they feel like they got a hidden gem here. We got to trust the staff on that one. So overall, I like this class. I'd give it probably a B+. Now, I will say this, Nebraska, they're likely done unless Kelvin Obot commits. And this is a very interesting situation where if Kelvin Obot wants to come to Nebraska, they will find room for him. You're always going to find room for a borderline 5-star prospect. The problem is he's probably not going to come to us. Again, we're probably dead last right now. We are dead last right now. Out of the 4 schools, I'd rank it Oregon, Utah, Michigan, Nebraska. Michigan actually might be out of it now. It's probably, again, Oregon, Utah, Nebraska. But Kelvin Obot, a lot of crystal balls have been rolling in for Oregon over the past couple weeks, but he hasn't set a commitment date. So if this is a guy who ends up waiting to the fall, once again, I still like Nebraska's odds here. The longer he waits, that more that plays into our favor. So Kelvin Obot, just somebody who Nebraska, I believe they're still going to recruit. If he wants to come here, they're going to say, hey, absolutely we want you. We're not going to turn down a borderline 5-star off the tackle just because we already have 4 commits. But just something to watch there. Like, again, if he commits in the next couple weeks, it's not going to be to us. But if he waits to the fall, just watch out for that headline. It means that we're probably still in play there, and I wouldn't be mad if we took him. I would be ecstatic if we took him, trust me. So would watch out for Kelvin Obot there. But again, don't love our odds, but again, just know we're not stopping recruiting him just because we took all 4 guys. We're going to make exception for this guy because when you're as talented as he is, you're always going to have a spot on this team. So that's the offensive line recruiting class, my honest analysis of it. Let's talk about some other things been going on. Now, Calvin Thomas yesterday, I told you guys, I got another scoop on the channel. Again, we've been on a hot streak. I told you guys Kalama Puma was a silent commit before all the crystal balls. Told you guys about Jamal Rhule. Again, we've been on a hot streak. And I'm not an insider, but I hear things. And these players talk to me and this, that, and the third. Anyways, Calvin Thomas, I told you guys yesterday, Nebraska had a better shot than a lot of people thought. A couple hours after I posted that video, crystal ball started rolling in for Nebraska to land this guy. And he's committing on July 12th. I expect him to potentially commit this week. The Huskers are trying to make this happen very quickly here. Again, if Calvin Thomas had his choice, he would be a Texas Longhorn, but Texas might not have a spot for him, and then Nebraska's his second favorite there. So that's really what's going on. Again, feel very good about that's a very speedy linebacker who can play all over the field, jack middle. I mean, he's a stud. He's a stud. So we'll watch out for Calvin Thomas. I think things are going to move quickly here. He's not going to wait. Probably going to commit. Again, I'm looking at tomorrow. I think tomorrow might be that day. Just take my word for that one. So watch out for Mr. Calvin Thomas. And then a couple other things. Again, Larry Miles, we know he's committing today. Not sure on the specific time there, but just know it's going to be Nebraska. He's a silent commit. You already told the staff. So again, I'll save my full analysis, but another big time Nebraska commit coming. And honestly, when Larry Miles announces it, Nebraska could be very much done with their offensive class. Like, they're not going to take another quarterback. They're probably not going to take another running back. I doubt they take another wide receiver at this point in time. They might when it's all said and done. They're done with tight ends, and they might be done with O-line. So we might not get another single offensive commit in this class, which is interesting, but Nebraska, they've done a very good job over the past couple weeks. Now, if you look on defense, it's a completely different story. We need to do a lot on defense because we only have 2 total commits. Jace Reynolds, who, I mean, he's whatever. And then you got Danny Odom, who's very good. But, I mean, you have a lot to do on defense. A couple other things I want to get to. Valdin, so I talked about him yesterday, but I want to give you another big update there. Georgia is now up to 6 defensive line commits. Now, yesterday they were at 4, and now they're at 6. So I honestly think Georgia's completely out of this process. They just don't have room for Valdin. They already took 6 defensive linemen. They're not going to take 7. So right now, honestly, it looks like a 3-horse race between Nebraska, Florida, and Auburn. Florida probably is the favorite. But once again, Florida, they're about to get their 3rd defensive line commit. They don't know. I don't know if they have room either. And then you have Auburn, which Nebraska, they've already beat out Auburn multiple times in this recruiting process for multiple prospects. So again, things are looking a lot better for Valdin. I told you guys the longer he waits, the more that plays in our favor. That's exactly what's happened here. So I think he's going to wait till the fall. It's going to be wide open, and we might see some teams like Ohio State, Michigan start to push some brand new schools, but Nebraska, they've been recruiting the longest, and that's going to play in their favor. So just watch out for that for Valdin, but don't expect something to happen pretty soon here. I expect it to be in the fall, maybe even a sign day commitment, but things are looking very, very good. And then Devin Jackson, some more crystal balls rolling yesterday for Oregon. I told you guys yesterday, I didn't think it was a done deal. At this point, I'm losing hope. I think it's a done deal. I think it's over. And honestly, if you want me to be very, very honest with you, I think he's making a horrific decision. Because if you look at the safety talent that Oregon already has, they already have a 5-star commit. They have a 4-star commit as well. In last year's class, they have another 5-star in Trey McNutt. They have studs after studs in that secondary, particularly at safety. Devin Jackson won't find the field at Oregon. So I know that price tag looks great to him, and he's saying, oh, I can buy this, that with the money that I'm getting from NIL. That's awesome. But if you don't get on the field, you're not going to make the NFL, and that's that real paycheck. So if Devin Jackson chooses Oregon, it is what it is. Nebraska could flip him when it's all said and done. It's definitely not over until signing day, but I will say, just man to man, if you're watching this, Devin, I don't think that's a good decision because you're not going to get on the field. There's so much talent. There's 5 stars. If you go to Nebraska, we're losing all of our top safeties next year. Again, Deshaun Singleton's gone. Marcus Buford's gone. Malcolm Hartzog's gone. We might have some transfers there as well. He could very well come in here and play right away. And that's going to be big to get to the NFL, which is where you're actually getting paid real money. So it is what it is, but it looks like Oregon there. And then the last thing I want to show you guys, this came out yesterday by Matt Rhule. He posted kind of a cryptic tweet. He said, too many people have profited financially off of negativity and despair. Their time is over, and that just blew up, had about 2,000 likes, 100 comments. So I think a lot of people, it was kind of a cryptic tweet. People were trying to figure out what he meant, and I think I know what he meant. He's talking about some Nebraska writers, some Nebraska media members who've been here for a very long time, 10, 20 plus years. They profited off of the Scott Frost regime, the Mike Riley regime of us being bad, and this rage bait that you see all the time. So it's interesting that Matt Rhule said that because, again, he definitely doesn't like some of these reporters who are always negative about the program. That's why on this program, on this YouTube channel, we try to be as optimistic as possible. But I will say this about Matt Rhule, you got to win this season or else this tweet's going to look really bad, because I will say this, while Nebraska, there have been some beat reporters or some media members who definitely are negative, it is warranted because we haven't been very good the last decade. Hopefully that changes this year, but Matt Rhule, you got to win this year or else, this tweet might not look good because there's going to be some negativity within the fan base if you don't make that big jump that we're talking about. So I thought that was very interesting. I told you guys all offseason, Matt Rhule has this quiet confidence about him. Now it's not becoming so quiet. He has this confidence that we're going to be a very good team this year, that we're literally going to be in the college football playoff discussion. Okay, that's the expectation. You can shudder at that. You can say that's too high. You could say that's unrealistic. It doesn't matter. That's what the coaching staff believes genuinely, that we're going to be in the mix to make the college football playoff. Okay, so just get used to that. Okay, you don't have to personally think that, but that's what Matt Rhule believes. That's what Dana Holgorsen believes. That's what John Butler believes. So that might change your opinion, and those are the people who are watching practice every day, evaluating this roster. If they believe that Nebraska is going to be in the mix to win that many games, we might be very, very good. Don't drink all the Kool-Aid just yet, but definitely start drinking it, because I think we're going to be solid this year. But man, they're talking a lot of crap. We got to hope that we back it up on the football field. So, man, I'm excited about this season. I'm excited about this recruiting class. Let me know what you're thinking down below. Hey, if you made this far in the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go Big Red, go Matt Rhule, and see you in the next one. And also, see ya when we have a commit later today.